everybody. This is my name's Mark. I'm the GM for Knight, a game that I wrote. I have two wonderful, amazing, incredible players and Casper here as well. And we are Nerds with Dice, and we are a channel that focus on interesting, amazing, and indie games with a variety of players from all sorts of different backgrounds. So, would you like to tell us about yourselves and who you're playing, please? This is episode 3, I think now.
I'll go first since you're doing like drive-bys. Um, Osio, I'm Casper the NB Ghost. I am everywhere as Casper the NB Ghost. Tonight I am playing Sir Tiernan, who you might hear bad things about, but he's a good boy, or they are a good person. So anyway, that's
they're
just me.
they're a great person, and we're going to focus on that today. That's going to be our focus on how good on how good they are. All right.
Don't like the sound of that.
Uh, Hi guys, I'm not Casper. I've sorry, I could resist. Mark teed me up for that one. I'm so sorry, Casper. I'm so
Drive-bys on
sorry.
both sides.
You thought you were safe, but no.
I thought you were a friend.
Oh my god. Okay. Hi guys. I'm Abhilasha or Percival. Percival right now. I am Doctor underscore Vibon on Twitter. Ombre Lesbian Night on Blue Sky, where I mostly tend to post about books I really love, mostly lesbian centric, and about all the TTRPGs I'm involved in, and sometimes commentary on things that miscellaneous things I might like, or getting into arguments with people, but that's usually for a good cause. And I'm playing Sir Lamorak, who indulged in a little bit of well,
Patricide?
yeah, patricide, patricide for a good cause,
Just a little bit.
patricide for
just
for a good
just
cause.
a
Some,
it's only
you
a little
know,
bit of patricide. You only do it once.
only a little bit, only it was a very small head that got cut off. It's fine.
Yeah. Oh. Okay. Okay. So, um, uh, to be clear, that was Sir Lamorak's father's actual head that
No,
got
no,
cut off.
it.
So
I
his
meant
full size head.
head. Did not. That was entirely not a pun. It was not
Okay.
innuendo. It was
Okay.
an actual head twitch.
Sorry.
Just saying.
I'm.
I'm going to
Okay.
get and my twitch.
That's all right. So, in the last exciting episode of Night, did we want to have a little breakdown of exactly what happened? We mentioned it earlier. Um, so Lamarak, what happened? If you could break down like a scene that happened in a This Is What Happened last episode, what could we do it for you for your character as we have our introduction to our we've got our title sequence coming up. We've got some medieval font with night. We've got that scene of the two of you riding up on the hill into the morning sun. We've got some battle scenes. We've got some feast scenes. We've got some dance scenes. And in the last episode of Night, what happened for Sir Lamorak?
Well, I imagine that it's going to be like the background when Sir Lamorak sort of like fades in. The background is a family tree, but the tree itself is like looking like broken and diseased, almost like it kind of fills in with like red, but like the red starts becoming darker and darker, like black. It blackens, and you see like the scenes of Lamorak fighting a huge monster that turned out to be a cousin of his, unable to help the kinsman that he lost at this lake, uh, confronting the god of the underworld, who revealed to him terrible secrets about his beloved parents who he lost, and how his father uh, murdered an innocent girl for power, and he and Sir Lamorak uh, giving justice, uh, and putting an end to his well, in a half act of mercy, half act of restorative justice, uh, he beheads his father and goes home with a new fresher perspective on what he wants to do in life now, rather than just fulfill his parents' ambitions and essentially become his father.
I love it. And Saturnian, what focus are we going to put in on in the last episode, especially when you were fighting the shameful troll? What are we
I
going to
have no
focus
idea what
on
you're
there?
talking about. I don't know shame. No. No, so on Tiernan's end of the spectrum, it's gonna show like cute moments with him and the princess and the baby. And then like the duel that we had, I'm pretty sure that wasn't last time on, but whatever. There's a duel that we had for the princess, where she like on our cute little hunt and she saw me fight and all that jazz. Or she saw me hunt and all that jazz. And then it's gonna swiftly cut to the me revealing that I cheated in my trials to get my title, which isn't necessarily a bad thing. A baby's got to do what a baby's got to do. Um, I watched a lot of Rugrats recently. Uh, uh, and so
Oh,
yeah,
anyway.
yeah. So I gave one of my competitors food poisoning, and I got the other one drunk. Or drunk enough to be still drunk the next morning during the trial, and that's how I won it. And that would be my greatest shame. Me reliving that during the shame troll segment while Lamorak was dealing with family stuff. Uh
Nice,
I was reconciling. Oh yeah, I did do that.
nice.
Great.
I love it. I love it. And I love that our knights here are not they are good-hearted, but there's a bit of darkness in both of them. Okay, so we're going to move on. You have since returned home. The fief where the tower lay has been returned to the countess, and so Lamorak, you have refused the title of it and want nothing further to do with it, and fair enough. So we're going to move on, and we're going to have a scene of winter, sort of the ice, coming up, and we're going to and some sort of changing seasons scenes: spring, the flowers; summer, the heat; autumn, the threshing of the things. And we're going to so we're going to go through our thief phase now, which is where time goes by. And because we're in the situation we're actually going to have a very large time skip of 5 years that happens. So in 5 years, plenty of things are going on in Avalon. But the first thing that happens is a family affair that might happen. So our job here is to pick a single family member, entangle somebody else, whether it be a non-player character or a family member of another knight here, and roll on our D66. That's 2d6 table, and we're going to start telling some stories about Greater Avalon. So, who wants to go first? I'm going to pick. I'm going to pick Sir Lamarak because um, Sir Tony just spoke. So here we go. Sir Lamarak. Pick a family member and entangle someone else or something else in some way. Who's your family member? So we have two: your big, muscly fighter half sister, and your married. and now with a little 5-year-old kid whose name I have forgotten, um, the bookish, slight necromancer type Aisha.
Yeah. I don't. Did we name the kid? I don't think we named the kid.
Oh, well, names are important.
Mm.
Did you bestow the
Oh,
name, Sir Lamarak, as the head of the house?
um, I think that Sir Lamorak suggested a name, and he's trying hard not to be like very like impose himself, especially on Aisha, who is his like second in line.
Mm-hmm.
So um he suggested the name Aliyah
Mm-hmm. Aaliyah.
for
It's a beautiful name,
yeah, yeah.
Aaliyah. Um, and is so. Who are you picking? Are you picking Aisha or are you picking Tara to have a something exciting happen?
Um, you know what? I think
Or are you picking
Aisha.
Aaliyah? Aaliyah is a member of your family.
Oh, that's true. That's also true. I think that you know what? Let's give the mom an adventure. She
Yep.
has her hands full, but doesn't mean she can't have adventures.
Yeah, that's true. Aisha, please roll me 2d6 and read me the numbers on both dice.
A five and a six.
Something to do with the pagan faith, and so that is the natural spirits of the land. So you have two who favor you. One is actually Arawn, god of the underworld, and the second was Gofanan, the god of smiths and well, literally the underworld as opposed to the other world. Um, so, um, what is going now? Roll me a luck dice to give me a whether it goes well or whether it goes badly.
Luck dice is D20, right?
No, it's a d6. One is bad,
Oh,
six is great.
oh, another five.
Pretty good luck. So tell me what happens with Aisha. Something to do with the old faith, and it's generally speaking beneficial. But you've also got to tie someone else in. So NPCs, there is Sir Sever, the Ruthless, Sir Quinn, who is Aisha's husband. Um, there is Aaliyah, their own kid. There is half a dozen NPCs like Sir Roundabout and and so on, and anyone else that you've come across, such as the Countess or anyone really.
Hmm. I think that Aisha starts to involve Aliyah in worship, like like she's reached the age where she's curious about uh, the rituals and practices that they are involved in. Aisha's not involved her in her magical studies just yet, but because she's still very young, but she essentially starts putting Aliyah on the path of uh, essentially a a destination, like something that she could be interested in, something that she could inculcate along with her roles and responsibilities, like something that could become that would be just hers. So
Mm-hmm.
within like various, like there are various gods you worship, so it's not just within those. So also like within those gods, all the book she gives her books, she shows her various rituals on how people worship different gods and why they worship. And she essentially starts to encourage Aliyah to essentially find someone that resonates with her, and what she wants and who she wants to look out for her for later in life.
Okay, that sounds great. So, sort of starting Aaliyah on the path of a traditional priestess. Um, Okay, and maybe looking for a mentor or something like that. Well, that sounds cool. So, great. Um, in the 5 years that goes on, she is probably given all of the traditional rites of induction, at least for children. Um, uh, at the age of somewhere around 5, 6, or 7, traditionally, uh, if she was to become a priestess or a druid or something like that, from about 7, she would actually leave your household to study as an apprentice under some other druid. Is that what you're going to give her up to?
Um, I think her mom is going to like send her out with with like a druid mentor, because Aisha wants Aisha and Lamrak have discussed this, and they are now also looking to bring magic back into the lands and into the family.
Excellent. I love it. We have a little bit of of that scene. All right, now, Sir Turnian, who is your family member who is going to have an adventure? Now, if I recall correctly, Aaliyah is. You could pick Aaliyah again because she is, in fact, a member of your family as well. Although, um, it is
When did
because
that
she is
happen?
married to Quinn. She's married to Quinn,
When did that
your
happen? I
younger
thought you
brother.
married someone else.
I thought she was married to Quinn. Is that not right?
No, no, I think she. Wait, I
Yeah,
think
I
I.
think
Yeah,
she's married to the Sunshine Knight's family.
Oh, did I get? Oh, I see. Yep, that
Yeah,
makes
I was
sense.
like, wait a second.
I got that completely confused. My notes were entirely wrong.
I
There we are.
was like, wait
So
a second.
Quinn
I would
is
have words if Quinn got married. That's some usurper shit right there.
Yep, yep. No worries. So a member of your family, Saturnian.
um, speaking of, no, last time we hung out with Sever, he lost a horse and armor, but spent the night with Lady Leona. So let's see what 5 years has
Oh,
done for Sever the Ruthless.
yes. So 2d6. So Lady Leona, who is the rescued sister, looking for a husband. Um, what are your 2d6 results, please?
All right, so the first one I rolled was a 2,
Byron. 2. Yep.
and
And
then the
second,
second one I rolled was a 6.
something to do with justice, and roll me a 1d6, please.
Another 2.
Another 2. Pretty bad luck. Something to do with justice. So Sir
Okay, good job,
Sever, who
Sever.
has really, really suffered lately, he has cost your fief significantly. Horses and armor are not cheap. Um, and and the and something to do with justice. What happens? Oh, and see if you can tie someone in.
Okay, so Seaver, feeling pretty good about himself because he spent the night with the rescued lady, decided to use the rest of his fortune, or the rest of whatever holds he had, to do a bunch
Mm-hmm.
of tournaments and stuff with
Mm-hmm.
Amarin, because he likes going to Amarin's tournaments. He loses every single time, to the point where he's like starting to get pretty reckless, and he goes too hard in a tournament bout of the sword, and kills his opponent, who uh is fellow like a spare of another house. um
Mm-hmm.
so
Mm-hmm.
it's pretty
So
bad.
nice. So let's call them. Uh, so let's see. I'm not going to do a bat. So I just had this idea that they could be the House of the Bat, but let's not do a bat because you like that night theme. Um, so
I am the Dark Knight.
let's. You are the Dark Knight. So what could their charge be? Let me have a quick look. And let's very. I don't really care too much about the dead guy, but I do care about their family because now you've got a blood feud on your hands. So let's put their they are a black storm um,
Oh,
with a
great.
lightning bolt. On a so they're like a storm black cloud with a lightning bolt with a green field, and their head has demanded justice um, in that a bout done. Now, Sir Sever, it was pretty bad. I mean, we're talking. Not only did you knock this guy down, but then but then he. He kept hitting the guy in the head with the sword until eventually, sword crushed the skull and so on.
Mm.
So if you want that to happen, are you cool with that? Is that what happened? He is pretty
Oh yeah,
ruthless.
he is ruthless. So once he knocked him down, instead of calling the bout, he kept going and
Hmm.
going until like he had to like physically pull him off. And at that
Nice.
point, uh I'm going to say Sir Blackstorm. There, boom, named him. Sir
It's a
Blackstorm.
guy, not a yeah. Sir Hargain Blackstorm. Yep.
There you go. He like he was yeah, they couldn't like at that point the helmet was so caved in that they couldn't like actually pry it off. So
Hmm.
yeah, rip Sir Blackstorm.
Nice. Um, well, I think we have a blood feud on our hands because Lady Penyon Blackstorm is nicely pissed off with you. And over 5 years, so she demanded justice in that your brother be summarily executed by her hand. What did you do?
Mm, um I understood where she was coming from, and because of the
People are saying she's going too far now because what you should have done is paid a heap of money, but you don't have any because Sir Siva kept losing all of his horses and armor.
exactly. So I see what she wants, and um my concession is because I don't want her to like desecrate the body in any way. I offer her justice by my hand instead of
Mhm.
hers, and make it like a full public thing.
You're going to personally kill your own brother?
Um yes. Iden
Okay.
is a harsh place, yo.
Iden is a harsh place. So you decide to kill your own brother. And I will say, for the purposes of our adventure, that instead of fighting you, Sir Siva becomes an exile and gives up the shield of the family house. He becomes an outlaw. What do you what so when he hears rumor of this, he basically leaves you and the family. What is your thoughts on this?
Uh,
As he tells you um, he will not forget that you have abandoned your family
I
and acted.
I make it like known throughout the lands. Like I send letters to everyone that Seaver has disgraced the I don't have a last name. Has disgraced
Iden.
Iden in such a way. Oh, Iden is my last name. Okay, so has disgraced Iden in such a way that he no longer has any holdings here. He is not of us. He is he is dust in the wind to us. He is not blessed under the light of Rhiannon. Um,
He is banished. All
yes,
right.
exiled,
Um,
banished. We don't know him.
mhm. Um, I'm just going to say Lady Penny and Blackstorm has not accepted because he has not been executed, even though you tried to, but he got away. Sound fair?
Mhm.
She is still pissed, but possibly less pissed. Um, okay, so next, so this is a terrible thing to happen to Iden, nonetheless. I love it. Next, we have a something that your guys have been doing in your free time. What have you been doing in your free time? In 5 years, what have you got up to?
I've been flirting with the princess and Andre for
Hmm.
5 years.
You've been oh, has it just been flirting for 5 years? Have you not
Oh,
pressed
I
your
mean
suit?
it. Flirting. Um, I've after like the first I've after like the first year or so, like true uh the the true heir, like she's got like a whole stable of just horses that I've carved for her, and like musical instruments. Like she's got a whole like a whole band full of instruments now. Um and so after like a year of just writing letters and visiting and correspondence, I make my feelings known in the form of like a ballad. Um because of course. And um yeah, like I put myself out there and hope she likes me
Oh,
despite
what should
my
we do here? Let's zoom in.
spares.
I think we should zoom in on this scene as we go through with the ballad. Are we interested in that?
Oh great. Yes. Let's see how well
Yes,
this
is
goes.
that a yes? We don't
Yes,
have
this
to.
is a
We
yes.
could just roll some dice to see how you go.
Okay.
All right, so let's zoom in. Let's think of a romantic scene. So Percival, help me out here with a romantic situation.
Oh yeah, I would absolutely, since Tiernan had like since Lamorak has pulled from the race or whatever, I like he'd be like, okay, so my brother's been exiled. We How do I make this look good to the princess? Because like I'm trying to do some things. Like how do I make this nice? You're nice.
Um, I'm flattered. Uh, well, I
So,
mean, think
the
about
two
it. Think.
bros are giving each other some romantic advice.
Look, brother. Look, let me tell you this. Look, you remember like when I challenged you to a duel, and she was out there, and she saw you and you won. Like you won that damn thing. I was unlucky, but you won. That's like, it's been 5 years. I can say that. So like, she really liked that stuff. And like with your brother being exiled, which is a really bad situation, I know, but you were willing to stand on justice. You were willing to do what is necessary. Now the little slippery bugger escaped. It happens. It happens. Like slippery buggers will be slippery buggers. But like you've done all of this romantic stuff, and she knows that, and all the stuff that you can like do in like the nice and romantic sense. But look, man, we're knights. We're fighters also. So like, you've come so far. Like maybe you should like organize some kind of like specific like tourney, or like something jousting, and like do it in honor of her, and like show how like, just show that you are Saturnian. This this, like you earned your knighthood. You earned, because you defeated so many people, man. You have fought everyone from like, and you came from nothing, and you're now here. So like, you can just throw one hell of a party, one hell of a tourney, and just like wipe the floor with everyone, and show that you will stand on truth, justice, and love.
I will take that idea. Um, so yeah, my big romantic gesture. is that I will host a tournament in Aiden in honor of Princess Anundri. But instead of declaring myself like instead of declaring that I would win for her, because any knight could like honor themselves and say that they'll win for her, I will do my worst. I will intentionally lose to dishonor myself, but prove my love for her.
Okay.
Totally not stealing that
Um,
from a movie, guys.
And I
Interesting.
know which
So
movie you're
there's a
stealing it
there's a there's a
from.
type of tournament. There's a type of tournament in the later periods in which a lady, usually most likely unmarried, and is declared the queen of love and beauty, and she gets to be the head of the tournament, and she's the one who gets to say go, and she's the one who bestows the honors and all the rest of that sort of stuff. Um, and in this sort of tournament, it is not necessarily, although it doesn't hurt, it's not necessarily about winning. It's about making the most beautiful spectacle and making the ladies feel, and guys, feel the most appropriate, respected, beloved, admired, and so on. So yeah, there's fights going on, but there's also poetry and all that sort of stuff. Do we want to do that?
Yeah,
Because
I'll do that.
I think what we're going to do is we're going to focus on that as our actual adventure, um,
Great.
because everyone's going to be there, and I think there's going to be a mysterious knight who never takes off their helmet, and we'll see how we go. All right, so
Yes, got my reference. Thank you, Mike.
yeah. All right, so that's what we're going to pull out there. So, in the meantime, I'm just going to roll some stuff for you to see what else happens in those 5 years. But thank you, you have set up an adventure for me that we're going to focus in on these 5 years. So we've got a 2 and a 3. There is a battle, and oh, and it goes terribly. Okay, so um, Sir Lamarak, you have there is a battle. There's always battles. There's a constant low level of warfare going on in Avalon. That is par for the course. That's why you are knights. However, you are caught up in a battle between Sir Bycourt the Betrayer, and because he is moving some of his armies through the Countess's lands, and the Countess has refused to swear allegiance in this. And so he is claiming territory, and he is moving knights through. He is sieging and burning out knights on the Countess's lands. While he is not necessarily coming for her to destroy her personally, he is sending large groups of raiders through the lands, to take back what he says is rightfully his. And you are caught up in all of this because your lands are the center of a battlefield, as you and the Countess's lands are coming through. And this is and when you see the Bycourt himself, his shield with the black dagger with the blue background, he in his fully resplendent armor, he has dozens of rows of knights. He is marching thousands of men across your fields. Your very fief is caught up right in the center of it. Your peasants have fled either into the woods or behind your walls. You have, and the Countess's armies are on their way. You are caught out with what few people you have left. What do you do?
Okay. Hmm. So Lamorak has had a very interesting 5 years where he's just mostly kind of minded his own business. But now he really now, but in the where he was minding his own business, he was also expanding the his reserves of the materials used to need weapons. He made his fief known as a haven and as a very rich spot for various blacksmiths and merchants and people who sell weapons, trade and that stuff, to come and trade here. So he is flush at, he may not have a lot of people, but he does have the best weapons, because that's the one thing he knows. He was on point with all of that. And he and when this war came to him, he's not someone who's very bloodthirsty. But if you're going to come and you're going to intrude in his business, you're going to go terrify his people, he will cut you down where you stand. He's done with negotiation. He's done with, he's seen this nonsense again and again. He will drive him out with from the with the tip of his sword and even a broken knife if he has to. But he will get the betrayer's troops out of his damn land, and make sure that he knows that he will not be trifled with.
Nice. So how so what you're going to do is you're going to roll me an attribute check to and which one do you think is best going to suit this situation? You have a much larger army coming for your forces. You are we can establish that you're well that your troops are here, but the Countess's armies have not fully marshaled yet. And what you have some backup here, but you yourself only command a few hundred troops, whereas Bycourt has come with thousands. So how are you going to? You are trying to drive him out, at least make him move his forces. How are you going to do that?
Okay. I think
Is it a
I'm
direct
going.
charge straight at the head? Are
Uh,
you going to do something else? Are you going
I
to try to
think.
take the king? Are you?
Hmm. I think that initially, that right now he's essentially keeping them out of the. He is keeping them away from his castle and bombarding them essentially. He's like, it's all tactical warfare. He's recruited as many people who are willing to like play dirty, who are willing to like flank them from behind. He is not charging at them directly. He is going to essentially try and either like uh he's going to make their lives miserable from where they are currently camped out.
There's a mysterious knight who never removes his helmet, who offers to fight for you. Um, he has a simple black shield and wears nothing, and he has a significant mercenary force. And if you take him on, I'll give you advantage on this because he is particularly good at nighttime raids and working in the forest and stuff. He seems vaguely familiar, but he refuses to ever like come and meet at your actual castle or any of that sort of stuff.
Desperate times
He,
call
he
for
always does
desperate measures.
everything. All right, beautiful. I love it. We've got to set this up right. All right, so tactical is prowess. So please make me a prowess roll with advantage to see how you go at basically just getting Bycourt to go. Nah, this is too much of a hard nut to crack.
D6s, right? Two
Yeah,
D6s.
no D20. D20,
Ah,
roll them twice. Take the lower option.
okay. Two D20s and take the lower option. Okay. I got a what is this? Yeah, this is a 9 and a 14. So I got a 9.
That's a success. Okay, so I'm going to say that while you come under siege, your distance weapons and your defensive siege work is enough that instead of attempting to crack your walls and all the rest of it, despite you hold off an army almost 10 times your own size, and they only stay there for maybe a week or so before you see them simply withdraw and in good order. It's not that you've killed heaps of them, but every time that they've attacked, you have taken a significant number of heads. And so Byquit simply moves on to a different fief in his war with the Countess. So you have held him back, and you earn significant glory for that. So let's not forget that. Well played. You have and there is this amazingly skilled dark knight who is always like raiding their supply lines and doing other nasty stuff in the background. He's skillful. He's ruthless. He's 100% ruthless. He literally comes in and gives you a collection of enemy heads,
Mm.
just in a big barrel, you know. So um,
That's my
and
boy.
he's skilled though. Okay, next up. Oh, we got another one to happen first. So Tanian's got three.
Lamorak politely asks him to please give the heads a burial for the love of God.
Um, he simply tells you that he and his troops don't have time for that, empties the bloody heads on your doorstep and leaves with his money. So, nonetheless, and Saturnian, in all of these situations, I'm going to say that you and the princess are on a. We're going to focus in on that tournament later, possibly with marriage on the agenda. But you're having a little date. You're going through the woods near Iden. She has come to visit you. Everything's nice. She says some classical style poetry, to you. She admires you. She respects your decision around your brother and everything like that. When boiling out of the underbrush as you are there, comes a entirely green figure. It is a horse with a man-like body, but unlike a centaur, the man-like body comes up from the middle of the horse. There is no head to it. It has 6 arms, every one of them wielding axes, and its hair is its hair goes all the way around its head, so it does not appear to have any eyes. It ululates as the Knucklebee comes at you straight out of the woods. How are you going to deal with the monster?
uh, how many legs does it have? I'm sorry.
Only four.
Only
So four
four?
legs. Imagine a horse without a horse head, a humanish body coming up out of the middle of the horse, and the human body has 6 arms.
Cool, 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 cool.
Oh, it's
I'm
also
going to.
entirely green and covered in like greenish like fronds and ferns and moss and such like.
Right. So first and foremost, I'm going to uh shoot it with an arrow to get it to focus on me,
Hmm.
and drive it away from the princess.
Let's see how you go. Prowess roll, please. It is charging at you as it ululates this strange high pitched cry, and Midnight sort of starts bucking underneath you.
All right, midnight, behave, you jackass. Um, okay, so wait, hang on, I'm trying to remember all the things that I got. Oh wait, no, that's for a different thing. Okay, so I got like a 6, which is under
Right.
my prowess of 10. So
Beautiful. You slay it. Roll me a 1d6 for luck. As well, you don't slay it necessarily, but roll me a 1d6. How well do you do here?
um 4, nice middle of the
4.
road number of 4.
Nice middle of the road. I think what happens here is that your arrow pierces it straight through the heart, but this does not seem to kill it. It does let out a wail. It comes towards you. The princess is horrified, but shrieking, it breaks the arrow off, and with one of its sort of it uses one of its arms with an axe to sort of break the arrow off, and it flees back into the woods. Do you pursue, or do you let it go?
I the hunter in me wants to pursue to make sure it's not going to attack anybody else. Um but I am a knight and I have a princess here. So I'm going to get her back to safety and put out a bulletin for this creature um wandering the forgotten forests. Um like
Nice.
y'all be on the lookout. There's a giant green centaur thing with 6 arms that will do damage.
It looks terrifying.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Big scary
yeah.
green thing.
Some of the Celtic monsters are a bit on the bizarre side. All right, so that's the FIFA events, and now we have season's turn. So the next, so in 5 years, what I want you guys to do, not thinking about your characters, but I want you to think about big factions that are already in Avalon. You could give me a die roll for luck if you want. So you might go, oh, Sir Bycourt, or look at the map and you go, well, who are these people over here? I don't know anything about them. Or because we have the Sun Knight and we have the Knight of the Cup, they're both factions. We have Lady Leona. We have so anything you want, little or big. Please tell. So roll me a luck die and then tell me what might happen to in over 5 years. So
I will
let's go.
absolutely
Yep.
do the Sun Knight because that beef still
So
stands.
yep, Dame Deirdre, your rival.
One.
One, how well does she go? Tell me the story of Dame Deirdre over 5 years. So she was the tip of the Countess's lances. You know, she is the greatest, and she was the greatest and bravest. No one would want to fight her on horseback at any rate. What happens?
With a one, it that's bad luck, right? Like
Yeah,
the
that's bad.
worst.
Now this could be to her personally, or this could be to her lands, or anything.
I'm gonna say, Deirdre, that they, for some reason, they were struck with, their lands were struck with famine. Like they haven't had a good, like they live on the
That's
coast,
yeah,
right? So they haven't had a
yeah,
good.
but they have beautiful wheat fields, if I remember, is
Okay,
how they
yeah,
were described. Yeah,
yeah. So their wheat fields have been uh,
blighted.
struck with
Yep.
locusts. There we go. Why not? This is the
Yep.
only thing I can think of right now. Um,
It happens.
which has their entire fiefdom kind of falling into a uh deep spiritual, like we um uh downward spiral, as they think they have pissed off their sun god somehow, um and they're trying to figure out how. And like the only new thing that happened was they their spare got married. Their so like and it can't be
To the
that, like,
necromancer.
yeah, to a necromancer. So it obviously can't be that, can it? So it's been that that's the
Hmm.
there's a faction within their fiefdom that is not
Wants to kill
exactly.
Aisha.
Huh?
Who do they want to kill Aisha because she's a horrible necromancer who brought a curse to their lands?
Um
You rolled a one.
yeah, it is a one, so unfortunately, I'm so sorry. Yes.
I love it. I love it. Okay.
It's a one.
And Percival, please take a large faction or group of some, or an individual if you like, and tell me and give me a luck die to see how they fare over 5 years.
Yeah, luck die. Come on. Wait, no, D6. This is going to be really funny. I got a two,
And
and
who is your group?
okay, I'm going to pick.
So there's
Okay,
the Geats off the coast. There's Beren. There's Lady Leona. There's Sir Beren. There's Bycourt, the betrayer. There's the Countess.
I think I'm going to maybe go a little unconventional and pick pick a knight, or pick like a fiefdom we haven't gotten to know yet. That is the Ceridon.
Oh yes, the Knights of the Cup. Yep. Oh, Ceridon. You mean the Countess? Hang
Oh,
on,
this.
I need my
Oh,
map.
wait, yeah.
No, no, she's Astolat. I'm sorry. I just need my map to find out where we are. Um,
We're right next to
Ceridon.
Lioness.
Yeah, like south,
That's
like south, a
what's its
little south.
heraldry?
That was
Ceridon. Oh yeah, yeah.
near the
Okay, so we
coast.
got Astolat. Oh, Ceridin.
Yeah, the
Ceridin
sword. Yeah.
Yeah, the
is
sword.
the sword. No, that's Bycourt the Betrayer. That's King Bycourt the Betrayer.
Oh.
So he has a terrible time.
Oh yeah,
Yes.
give him a terrible time.
Yeah, hell yeah.
He fucked with your fiefdom. Give him a terrible time.
Exactly. Okay. So because of the fact that this feud of his spilled into the land of another knight, and it did a significant amount of damage there, even for one, or at least that's how Lamorak tells the story.
Hmm.
He essentially starts to like, he speaks to other knights, to other lords of the land, other barons, people who with their own fiefdoms, about how this king, who is who depends on their support, who is the king because they support him, like that's kind of the implication, that we are all landowners, we have a right to say, and you do not have the right to come in and like exercise your petty feuds onto lands just due to proximity. And he starts to essentially like, there's a lot of grumblings that Lamorak encourages against the betrayer, against the king. And then uh, Lamorak essentially, in one of the one like some random tourney, he goes up against the betrayer in a joust.
Oh,
So
wow. Okay.
Discord, do it.
He's
All
straight
right.
up, he's straight up like he can like like the king has heard
Does the betrayer know you've been spreading these bad rumors about him?
well, I'm going to say that he heavily suspects, but Lamorak still
Is this the
is
reason why
a,
he's in the joust?
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
I,
he's trying to like, he's trying to prove himself. And so Lamorak is like, yo, bet.
all right.
Yo,
This sort
this
of
tournament's gonna be lit.
so Bycourt has one of those evil villain sort of beards, and he's got the full armor and he's got the metal worked crown worked into his helmet and all the rest of that sort of stuff. He's got the most beautiful of staff. He's got a sort of a hardwood black lance and things like that. He has the very black dagger that he used to kill the old High Queen. Not that Lamorak necessarily cares that much about that, but and I think we're going to have a prowess roll of you versus the Bycourt the Betrayer in a sporting event, as Bycourt does his very best to murder you on a sporting field.
Yes. Okay, so that's the, again, 2d6s, right?
No, it's a D20, so it's an attribute.
Oh,
It's a
d20.
check.
Oh,
And
okay,
tell
okay.
me, how are you going to face the king? Are you going to come in with all guns blazing, perfect, power and power and might? Are you going to go for a technical win by basically, like hitting the proper edge of the shield, which goes, you win X points, or going to hit the point of the if you hit the top of the helmet, then that's a perfect win. Or are you going to trick him in some way?
He's
And
going
get
to
an
trick
unconventional
him.
win. Oh, that's
I
a wit
think.
roll. How are you how
Hmm,
are you going to do it? What's the trick?
I
I like
think
your
he's
card.
going to goad him into trying and sabotaging Lamorak.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, make a wit roll to see how well we go.
Okay. Let's hope this goes well.
Now, Bycourt's a terrifying figure. So, how'd you go? So we'll roll with disadvantage
Mm,
because Bycourt
mm.
the king has a lot of advisors and people who look after him,
Okay, okay,
and
okay.
he himself
Okay,
is
I'll
a
just,
is
okay, I
a
need,
master of manipulation. So,
okay, wait, I'll just get another d20. Okay, I'm rolling with disadvantage, right? Okay. I got a 4 and a 10, so I'm assuming I'm picking the 10.
Mhm.
yep, the 10. How is that for your wit?
My wit is 12.
You succeed with no consequence. All right. So, um, So, despite the fact that Bycourt himself also has trickery in there because he has a so his sporting lens is deliberately designed to split at the top and have a metal point to pierce you to death, and so you found out about this and like replaced it with the blunt sort of padded end that they normally have. Um, and at the last moment, and then the two of you are riding against each other, and you nail him, straight in the center of the shield, and his shield, his sort of like glances off his lance glances off your shield and things like that, and you nail him with points at the end of the day. Do you want to go in to see if you can knock him off his horse? But that'll be another roll with disadvantage. So
Okay.
you've got him on
Yep.
points. Do you want to try, or do you want to just be like, I win by?
Embarrass
Oh no,
him
no. No, no,
completely.
embarrassive. Like it
Oh,
very much. Lavrak is looking for some petty revenge, and this is the best way he can like. He's doing this because again, man was you are in my you squared up against me for the stupidest reasons, and I may despise the dead queen, but that doesn't mean I like you either. Frankly, I think I you
you
all
deserve
can
each
go to
other.
hell. You all deserve each other in hell. But
Yep.
for now, at least I can get my licks. So I don't think I'm going to succeed because I got a 12 and an 18. So
Okay,
no,
so
not
this is
succeed.
what happens. You win on points, right? So that's fine, and you try to get him and nail him and take him off his horse for the complete, um, embarrassment. But it doesn't work. He is a skillful fighter, personally. The problem is not on the tourney field. The problem is 3 days later, when half a dozen armored knights in black come at you, basically ambush you, and yell out that you dare to face the king, and try to bushwhack you and your squire and your 10 guys, and there's like 50 of them. Um, so how do you get out of this situation?
Hmm. I think that Lamarak
This is-
is at this point going to. I think he's going to ask Saturnian for help.
Okay.
He's going to yell out loud, and is going to start like talking very loudly as to
Oh,
like
this is out in the wilderness. So they've found
oh,
you at
okay,
night on your
okay,
way back, and they're just trying to basically murder you for
okay,
daring to face up against the king. So
okay.
well,
So he's going to
you've got to.
first he's going to pray to the king of the underworld. He's going to pray to the king of the underworld, and he's going to ask him. He's going to pray that I need my friend here. I need my bro here. I need another night here to square the fuck up.
What I'm going to do is I'm going to give you an option. Um, and you can get away without even a roll, but your squire and fighting men will have to fight that retreat for you, um, and they may be lost in the process. Or you can fight and wear it. Remember, this is a game. You have heirs. Your character can die.
You know what? I'm Lamarak wouldn't leave them. He would fight them. He would continue to fight. He would fight them. He's not leaving his kinsman, especially his squire, his young squire who's like just getting up into the world, just a new knight.
Well,
He's
he's not so
he's
young
not
anymore.
leaving
He's
them
five
behind.
years older. He's almost ready to be a knight. So
Yeah, like he deserves his chance. He's not going to take the risk. If he dies fighting here, he knows he died fighting, knowing that
exactly.
he pissed
So
off the crappy king.
nice. All right, one last roll to see, and the consequence here is going to be whether your squire kicks it or not.
Oh no.
No
Okay,
pressure.
again two D20s.
Just one. Just one.
Okay, okay. Help. Roll well, please, Lord. I got a natural one.
Beautiful. You fight your way
Yes.
out, and you lose half a dozen fighting men in the attack. You fight your way free and return to your lands, knowing that the king sent half a dozen, well, a full fighting force to basically assassinate you. Um, your squire, what is his name? I've forgotten. So
Duke.
Lamorak Squire is that it? Lamorak Squire is Duke. Um, so fights nobly to protect you, because you are caught unawares, and he draws his sword and holds them back while you can get your kit ready. Ready to fight for yourself. And on your way back, he takes several wounds in the process, but he survives. Okay, I think that's season's turn. So now we're just going to do our glory. So you guys have all done amazingly glorious stuff. So one, um, you impressed a god. Both of you impressed a god. One more, perhaps a little more than the other, but that's fine. You're both impressive. You fought multiple monsters on one encounter, so that's at least 5 glory there. And then you personally fought. So that's 5. So that's 6. You held back a massive force in a battle. You personally fought another monster. 6. What else did we get up to? Any other glorious things that you guys would have done? Because you would both be popping an extra 6 glory at this point. Oh, you beat the king. One more point for you.
Yeah, that's pretty awesome.
Yep.
Um,
And don't forget you,
hmm.
and Sir Tony, and don't forget you beat the Knucklebee or whatever it's called, the green arm things. That's another point for you.
Oh, hey.
Yep. So both of you would to get 5 points. So you're both getting at least 6 points. And if there's anything else that you did that was glorious and cool, now the other thing is people got to know about it because glory is public.
Well, I defeated the green monster in front of the princess, so people
Another
know
you
about it.
you saved a noble, so people would know about it. Another point there. Done. So glory is your overall reputation. And now the last part of our thief phase is improvement. So everyone check for each attribute, and if it is over the current, you improve it by 1. So you just make a d20 roll. If it's over for each attribute, improve it by 1, and then tell me a little bit of what scene would be there to show how you've improved or got better. And this is the bit where we sort of have a bit of a montage song. Um, Gonna have a montage. You're doing some fighting and studying.
uh, okay, so
Okay,
Reading a
thank
book
you.
while doing some
for
push-ups.
Vic. Okay, so for vigor, I got under, so
Nothing.
All right.
um, much much better for prowess. I got a 19.
That goes up by 1.
So
Give us a scene. How are you getting better at prowess?
okay. So prowess in this case is like, wait, I've like specifically like in this context, like prowess would involve what?
So prowess is accuracy, tactics, and skillful action. So if you think that it's if pure might would be, you might have like, I don't know, lifting weights or whatnot. Prowess might be specific training, looking at accuracy or looking at tactics or that sort of stuff.
Okay. So Lamorak is now knowing that he does have the king on he's on the shit list of the king. He is going to look to reinforce. He is going to use all his talents in blacksmithing and alchemy to start reinforcing his castle, but also at the same time with Aisha they are going to start going further into magic
Mhm.
to use to like set up nasty surprises for any army who might want to invade, especially in open spaces.
Nice. Sounds good. All right. So Tony, and did you have any improvements?
Yeah, I had 2. Wait, right. Do we roll for endurance as well?
No.
Okay, well, Okay, cool. So
Oh,
the
I
yeah.
also got a plus one on wit. I also got a plus one on wit. So I think that would also like, but that also, I think I can say that Lamorak also starts learning a little bit about more about magic and like, or is that a different area?
Yeah, no, that's fine. That makes sense. Learning that book learning, magic is trickery.
Book learning, and he can like he starts to, I think that he would use his like now spiritual connection with the god of the underworld to try and harness the powers of well, that realm and a little bit of the dead.
Mhm. Okay, communing with a Rawn, god of the dead, and so on. No, that sounds creepy, but perfectly great.
Mm.
Okay, so all right, Saturnian, did you have any improvements?
Yeah, with my prowess and my wit,
Hmm.
my vigor
If you
still
give us a
sucks.
scene where those are improving, either
My
as one scene or as two, it's fine.
my prowess gets uh better as um in Iden you're forever like you're always training, you're always like matching your skills or whatnot. And now that there are monsters running like becoming more present in the forgotten forests, I've made it like just a part of my morning routine where I'm out shooting just a bunch of arrows and working on my accuracy at distances. Um,
Hmm.
my wit comes from communing with uh with Anandra on a regular basis. Like she's really smart and very uh very witty. And I'm good, but I have to be able to keep up with her. So I'm sitting here like, oh,
She was courtly trained, so she's
yeah,
had that ultimate courtly education. So
yeah,
yeah.
and I'm sitting here like, okay, cool. She gives me books to read, and I'm like, okay, let me just check this out, see if I can stay on her level, um, to keep the conversation between us interesting. So yeah,
Nice. So is there just an ongoing witty banter between the two of you?
of course.
I mean, you're a knight, you're well born, but she's like top of the top, right? So,
Oh yeah.
um, nonetheless, I think now. So we've finished the thief phase now. Hope you guys enjoyed that. I suspect now might be a good time for a break if you guys are good with that. Um,
Oh yes.
and yeah, a little break, and then we'll come back, and then we're going to focus in on the Tournament of Love and Beauty. Um, Featuring the Princess Anandri as the Queen of Love and Beauty, a mysterious knight who doesn't take off his helmet. Um, uh, 5 years later, where the Princess Kalia is now a young girl of about 6 or 7, actually 7 years old, and has become a page serving at table. So, and she is often around Sir Turnian's court because the Princess Anandri visits you. Um, so let's have our little break if that's okay. Sophia, how are we doing? Hello, amazing thousands of visitors to our to this site, and we are coming back to night. The and we have here. We are now going to go into the next year phase. So we finished the thief phase, where a lot of stuff happened around Avalon, and now we're going to get back into the adventure phase with the knights themselves. So this is like diving deep into the TV series and focusing on that rather than the overall picture. All right, so let's get into it. I think we're going to here in Iden, where we set our scene, we have the great dark wood manor of Iden, just near the Forgotten Forest itself, covered probably in mist and other bits of darkness. There is these are a forest people. There is many beautiful carvings. I imagine most of the buildings and the wood has actually been like wood carved into various shapes. There are shrines to Rhiannon, the goddess of the moon here. But this is not the normal quiet woodsy day of in Iden here with the fletchers and the woodsmen cutting down the trees and making the arrows and things that you sell off to other people. No, there are banners, there are tents, there are list fields with the fence in the middle. There are round circles. There are minstrels playing everywhere. Everywhere you look, minstrels. You can't take a step without a minstrel. The so the normally quiet Iden has now been filled with that latest and greatest of sounds, the most rock medieval music of all, the hurdy-gurdy. If you've ever seen a hurdy-gurdy, it's basically like the bass. It's the electric guitar of the medieval world.
Oh,
You sit
love it.
this machine on your lap and you crank it, and it sort of makes like a buzzing noise as and everyone's like clapping and doing, and all of your peasants are dancing. All of the knights have got their finest regalia on, because here we don't just have any normal tournament where you are in a world of where you're out to fight each other. Here is the tournament of love and beauty, where and some seating has been set up here, because I assume you don't have too many towers that people could hang out in, to watch the tournament. Now, most of these sorts of tournaments literally take place. There's sort of a general area where mostly they take place, but most tournaments also take place anywhere and everywhere it goes. So if someone happens to ride out of the field in the Grand Melee and they happen to go into the middle of your actual town, well, that's all in the rules. That's all pretty standard. So most people and their peasants are now hiding in your castle, and the gates are shut, just in case the big tournament itself happens to, say, take over your main manor field, and then becomes a siege, so turning it. So you probably don't want that. So you've shut your gates, and the morning has begun. The priests of the old ways have blessed, and the priests of the new ways have glared at them, and the
I'm so
faithful and
sorry.
the symbol of their cut. Yeah,
I'm so sorry. I have to answer the door right now. I will be right back.
no worries at all. So let's move on a little bit here. In the middle of this great tournament grounds, the sounds of music, the smell of roasting chestnuts. Um, who have you brought along with you, Sir Lamarak?
Uh, so Lamorak has brought uh, Sir Tara, a newly minted a knight, a fairly not a newly minted one, but fairly, but she's been a knight for a little bit now. Sir
Mhm,
Tara and Aisha and her daughter who've come to cheer her husband on.
mhm, mhm. So and so the where does Aisha live? Does she live? Does Aisha live the um, in the lands of the Sun Knight with her
Uh,
husband, or has her husband moved to live with you guys? We're just
I
asking about where Aisha lives. I just can't be sure. And
Oh, okay.
I think
Aisha, the
that
necromancer.
yeah, that's not ominous at all.
Look,
Yeah,
I'm sorry I
I've got a
rolled a
creepy
one,
tower.
okay?
It's fine. The dice tell a story. I think that Aisha was, because of the attack, Lamarak encouraged Aisha to spend more time in her husband's lands for protection. Uh, uh, I the urge to metagame is bad, but I think with the recent events, Lamarak would be like, you need stay away for a little bit, because like the rest of us, like, yeah, we are holding down the fort. You have a child and you have a family. You need to like stay, you need to be careful, just be careful, and just, and so she, for now, Aisha's still in her husband's lands, but if uh yeah, so that's for the foreseeable future.
Mhm.
That's
So
gonna be
we
so
have
good for her.
nice. Well, she's here now. There are a few banners here. First, the Countess has attended, which is pretty rare. She's getting on. She's probably she's very old now, near death. She's probably just on the barrier between life and death. She's 40. So no, she's uh, sorry. No, she's probably in her late 60s, and which makes more sense. Uh, uh, so
Some
she
people
has
manage to
attended,
live that
and
long, I'm sure, at some
oh,
point.
most people, some like those standout ones. Anyway, I got to stop with the jokes, don't I? So the Countess is here. With her is the Princess Nundry, of course, and who has apparently the Countess did not wish to come, um, but the Princess Nundry told you, Sir Turnian, that she has done her utmost so that she can attend your family tournament. Um, and so the Countess has begrudgingly shown up anyway, and has shown up with quite a lot of people because she is a Countess. And her and her wife, Marilyn, are both here in attendance, but are sitting mainly in the stands and have not put any knights up to actually compete in the tournaments or anything like that. The Dame Jessen, your good friend, sorry, Knight Deirdre, your good friend, the Sun Knight, has of course shown up, because she is already slapping the backs of all of the other knights as they're all just like chest bumping and like faking like sword fighting with each other out there, and then they're like yeah, and that sort of stuff. And she gives you like the happiest wave as you show up, as you're there, Saturnian. And sort of like muscle, like pretends to like muscle up, and she's like, yo yo, Saturnian, you do you I think that you, Saturnian, are most likely going to lose your own tournament. Are you even going to stand in it? She says. Are you even going to fight in your own tournament here? Are you going to sit back with all of the wonderful, beautiful ladies? Should I elect you as the queen of love and beauty?
Unfortunately, well, quite fortunately, that position has already been filled. As I do
Oh,
like a
oh.
knowing glance
She
to
she
the
she looks she
princess and
actually
then
looks shocked. She actually looks shocked, and she said, "Wait, it's already been voted." She says, "But Elaine, my sister."
oop,
Uh, Knight Deirdre looks a little bit on the upset phase, and she's
mm,
like, "Elaine's gonna be real mad. You can't just you like we can't even like this. It's normally voted.
um you missed it.
I missed it. Are you serious?" Elaine is going to be absolutely mad. She says, Anyway, she's been real angry lately. I don't know what. She's always got something going on. She's like pissed off all the time about Aisha. There's all these like rumors and stuff, whatever, saying she's like causing a bit of a blight on our lands. I mean, who? What magic can like summon heaps of locusts and stuff? Who would want to curse us? Anyway, she just
It's just a
goes.
lot of
Um,
information for Tiernan. Is just like
anyway, Anyway, Tiernan, we should catch up. I think we should maybe maybe later after the tournament. We should definitely catch up, and we should check out whether maybe we should think about doing something about the king. What do you reckon? I've been
Uh,
fighting 5 years of wars, and it's not stopping.
I am all for ending a war, but speaking so openly about what
There's
some
like
might
hundreds of people around. There's like
what
hundreds of people
some
around.
might what some might consider treason um is not wise, my friend.
Why,
Um
don't you trust your people? She says there's like hundreds of people of all sorts of different groups hanging around.
I trust my people, but these are not all my people.
Oh, yeah, that makes sense. Anyway, so are you fighting or what?
Yes, I but it's my tournament. Yes, I'm going to participate.
Nice, nice. All right. Well, I want to see that fine ass of yours on that horse over there, and we're gonna go and we're gonna fight, right? And I want to see you facing me. Don't you get eliminated? Do not get eliminated before you fight me. All right? I
Deal.
know you're not the best with the lance, but I really want to see you out there.
Oh, you make it very hard to like you.
She smiles and then she's like, "But you like me anyway, right?"
I don't know at this point.
Hmm.
We will see after the tournament.
All right. She uh, claps you on the shoulder, right, and turns, and then goes in for the bum slap on the way past, and then keeps walking through. So and then goes back to a bunch of other like knights, and then she's like, "Oos," with those guys. All right. So
Like Tiernan has a moment of like thinking 5 years ago, what was my issue with that person? Like what why? What was I doing? It's a moment of growth.
it's almost like they've been acted by an entirely different character. So anyway, they've replaced the actor, right? Um, so
They recast
Yeah,
it.
Elaine got
they
Aunt
recast
Viv.
the actor.
Elaine got Aunt Viv from Fresh Prince of Bel Air.
Oh man. All right. So these are the so you see Dame Deirdre. You see um, one night that you did not actually expect to attend is the Black Storm Heraldry have set up their tent and are keeping mostly to themselves. There is the Princess Anandri, and coming in right before the tournament before the tournament begins, there is a team, there is a group of knights with only a black flag and a black banner who come and simply set up tent and declare themselves under the banner of Sir Reynolds of the Black Banner. And however, it is a squire who announces them, and they don't otherwise leave their little encampment. So, Sir Tianan, your tournament begins now. Have you you have how did you manage to get the princess? Did you actually just say that the Princess Anandri was elected Queen of Love and Beauty, or are
Yes.
you going to have a yeah? So you just had the entire thing in her honor.
Yes.
Excellent, excellent. You see quite a
Subtlety is
number
not
of
a
the
skill of mine.
nice. Quite a number of the ladies here are sort of like those beauty pageants, and then
Mhm.
you see all the people who don't win and how upset they are.
Mhm.
So it's like they didn't even get to compete. They didn't even get elected in the first place. So you see quite a lot of them giving you glares, just massive flat out glares, and the but that's fine. You do it as the entire thing in the princess's honor, and the tournaments begin. So let's see. There's a few different tournaments that can take place, and a number of games and so on from here. Um, there is but the main one, of course, is the grand melee, where everybody fights everybody, and you literally make deals on the battlefield as you are right there to see who's going to win and who's going to lose. And the ones who, if they're in a group together and nobody else is fighting against them, they win. And anytime you knock someone off their horse or take their horse or hostage or take someone as a hostage or something like that, then and people can go in and be rescued and all sorts of stuff. It's basically like a whole mini battlefield, and that's the final capstone to the event. But before that, there are a number of tests of skill and challenge and stuff like that. So, how are you going to? Saturnian, for you here today, you have a tournament in the princess's honor, and all of this other stuff. Well, that's fine, but how are you going to impress yourself to the princess today, as she um, and as you ride up before the tournament begins and all the knights are announced by the heralds and things like that, the princess comes over and she ties a scarf just down the base of your lance there, and she sort of crooks an eye as she holds your lance, just for a moment, um, and she says, I wish you well today, Saturnian. Do not injure your foes too badly, I hope, and that we can all, so that we can all be best of friends and allies at the end of this day.
Uh, as you command.
Um, Kalia, the 7-year-old girl, is down by your stirrup, and in in a feat of agility, actually basically kicks up off your stirrup and then sort of lands behind you on Midnight for a moment. She is basically like sitting there on one leg. Who has trained her in horsemanship?
I'm
She's
gonna
7, so she
say
should be able to,
my Squire
the best.
Rowan.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
So Rowan has trained her. And as she sits behind you, she says, "Saturnian, I." She basically sort of holds you from behind for a moment. You've got like a high saddle, so it's not like a close hug or anything like that. And she says, she whispers, she says, "My mother is speaks so highly of you, Saturnian. Um, I uh, um, I really hope that you can prove yourself today, as she is, and she is expecting a gift. Do you know, or are you not aware?" She's whispering this to you on the back of your horse while everyone else is like getting ready to start the tournament.
I whisper back. I was like, oh, What kind of gift?"
She looks at you for a moment and she smiles, and um, and she says, "Saturnian, you are such an amazing hunter, and you have taught me so much. Um, but I think," she says, and she reaches into one of the little pouches that she has on her belt, and puts a ring into your hand.
Um, excellent. So I'm going to
She
say,
giggles and leaps off, but she's still near the horse.
yeah, I'm going to like, I'm gonna say I have like a leather thong on me or whatever, like a thin piece of leather that I can like loop in the thing and like tie a real quick secure necklace and
Mhm.
just like tap to it while eyeing Kaylee and be like,
She smiles, curtsies, and says, I must be away to attend my mother," she says, and then she sort of heads off for you. Sir Lamarak, Kalia waves in a friendly way towards you, and she says, "I promise I have been studying my lessons, Sir Lamarak."
Salamarak lifts his sword in acknowledgement, and as he does so, Aisha's voice rings out into the in the crowd, it rings out like as like surprisingly loud. Sir Lamorak is still available. Ladies, I know you might be disappointed at the title, but Sir Lamorak will uh, is still a worthy hand. And Sir Lamorak like immediately just like, what, just immediately like he tries to duck down, but like no, he can't duck down. It's just like uh and he just like he locks eyes with Aisha and is like and glares at like what the fuck, and Aisha's just like
Oh, many ladies laugh at this, and and everyone's laughing, and people sort of pat you on the back, Sir Lamorak, and you say, "Don't worry, Sir Lamorak, plenty of fish in the ocean," that sort of stuff, and then and then you hear sort of a voice from the outside, from one of the stands, and it's actually one of Sir Turnian's peasants. And you say, "Meet me later, Sir Lamorak. Don't worry."
Mm.
And people are
uh
like calling out at the knights and stuff. Um,
Sir Lamorak is
okay.
just crawling with embarrassment, and he just is like he would slide off the horse and let the earth take him right now if it wasn't for the fact that he was about to fight.
Hmm.
Can I
Hmm.
ride up to him and like pat him on the back and be like, "It's all right, buddy."
Um, the
So
heralds call out, "Oh yay, oh yay! So let us begin this fine tournament in the honor of the Princess Anandri. She whose beauty is magnanimous and radiant as the sun itself, and may Lu of the Long Hand and the King of Heaven bless her and all the knights this day, so that we may fight in her honor for love and for beauty." All of the knights are like, "For love and for beauty." Um, and the Herald says there are a number of games. So the first one for the honor of the ladies is, of course, the is not the joust. Actually, it is sword is simply is sword fighting. Do either of you wish to get involved in the fighting of swords? What you see, Kalia Penlu, the young girl. She is clinging to the edge of there's like a wooden fence around the outside of like this little circular arena that's probably about, 10, 7 or so meters across. Um, and she is already there, and you see her like clinging, watching some of the people who are already, she is loving it. So here's two questions. The first is, do you do you engage in the fighting tournament, and how do you deal with the fact that this little page, she is avoiding work, serving her mistress, and is in fact just lapping up the sword fighting and the martial arts?
Um,
Two questions for you.
I will, because she's there and she's watching and like is just so ingrained in it. I'm like, crap, I've got to do sword fighting. I hate sword fighting. Anyway, so I'll take up the sword and
Yep.
join the sword games. And I want her to watch me um and like actually pay attention and try and like learn the forms and stuff.
So what we're doing here is we're having a little bit of a teaching session. So the things that
Yeah.
you do with Kalia is how she will be queen when she becomes of age. Are you going to let her avoid the necessary ceremonies, so that she will be better at swordsmanship?
Yes.
The two of you see this situation. Feel free to have a convo.
I'm all about uh like her being able to defend herself because of my background. To be fair, I spend very little time in court. I spend only the amount of time that I have to in court. I am not trying to be king.
Hmm. What about
So
you, Selamarite? Should she be courtly or should she be more interested in the fight?
Hmm. I think that considering he's been encouraging his own family members into like different pursuits, if they want to, so I think he's going to see this little girl's like excitement in the fight and is going to like, he wasn't planning to be in the sword thing. He's again not big on swords. He's an axe guy. He would be in the axe if there was an axe throwing thing. He would be in axe
Hmm.
throwing, and he's planning to be in the joust as well. So, but I think he's going to step into the melee just so that he can kind of like show her how like one on one and stuff, like how that works and what.
Warrior Queen
Hmm.
Kaylee doesn't need no courtly ritual.
Hell yeah.
Nice. So, what you do see though is the Princess Anandri calling for. So you guys both. So you're not personally involving yourself, Lamarak, but you're sort of coaching her through the concepts. Yep. She's probably only just started to be like whoever is training her in fighting. It's probably only just begun. She's only about 7. So, um, but what you hear, Turnian, is in the distance. There's a lot of fights going on. There's a lot of stuff happening, and you see Anandri simply saying, "Kalia, Kalia, child, where art thou?" Um, and what do you do?
uh, I will get her attention and like like as subtly as I can. Um, let to basically tell her to heed her mother.
Hmm.
I was like, don't get in trouble at the. It's like heed your mother, child. Go
Hmm.
where you're
So
when you're being called.
and so Lamarak, you sort of, you talk her through some of the concepts of sword fighting and things like that. And then after that little bit is done, then Tony and you send her on her way. She sort of she curtsies just gently and she says, "Yes, sir, Tony," and goes to her business. Okay, both of you give me. So you're in a prowess here. So sword fighting is a matter of technical skill, not sheer brutality.
Heck
So
yes,
you
I have a chance.
um, so both of you give us a prowess check to see how well you go in the sword fight. Do you suffer a consequence here?
Meets it, beats it, right?
Meets it beats it, correct.
No
So the number
consequence.
is good. No consequence. And
Absolute consequence. I got a natural 20.
Oh no.
roll me a
Why?
roll me
Why
a
did
luck.
I
So
get.
Sertonian, you're fighting some of these. You're fighting some of the Knights of the Black Banner. There's actually a few of them, and they're reasonably skilled. But and what you recognise, Sertonian, more than anything else, is you recognise a few tricks. They're not very good at them particularly, but there's a couple of sword tricks around, a very quick sort of parry off to one side and then a snipe at the knee, that you recognize, that you feel very familiar. It's anyone can do that trick, but these guys have particularly practiced this trick, and you recognize it from somewhere. You know that this is that your instinctive knowledge of fighting. This was your brother's favorite mastered move. And some of these guys are just pulling the same trick out. That's all. Okay. But he's gone. He's exiled, right? It's 5 years ago. All right.
Yeah.
Um,
All
Yep.
fine.
He was also my heir, by the way. I'm looking at my sheet.
yeah.
Super was my heir.
Yeah.
I was like, oh
All
great,
right. Not
that's
anymore. Good thing you
no,
got a
not
spare.
anymore. I need to update update my sheet. Yeah.
Salamarak. Salamarak, how did you, what was your luck die roll?
Oh wait, yeah, luck die. I had to roll that. That's also D20.
No, it's a D6.
D6, please, Lord.
Get a 6.
I got a 5.
Good enough.
5. Good enough. I think you're, so one of the rights of battle here is that if you lose your weapon, in that not just that it gets knocked out of your hand, but the other person has to take it from you. So what's happened here is that you are fighting you're fighting one of the knights of the Black Banner, and no, actually, you're fighting the Lady Penny and Blackstorm. She is she is wearing all sort of she's wearing her tabard with its with the black storm at the center. She is a Despite the fact that this is a sport, you can see past the slit in her visor. She is an angry lady. But you see that she's not particularly angry at you as such, but she just marches forward with this direct brutality that you would expect to see in a battlefield, but not necessarily in a tournament designed to look good for the ladies, so to speak, right? So,
Hmm.
and she is just she chops you down to size, takes your weapon, and sort of takes you, binds you, throws you over one shoulder, and as you're like on the ground, you still have your sword in your hand. She goes just that little bit far and basically kicks you in the head just to try to take the sword away, and releases it. So she not only wins the bout, but she has taken your sword away. Now you probably have another one, but that sword specifically, um, that does it have any meaning for you?
Well,
It was
not.
so remember, swords are the symbol of a knight, but it was your axe that has specific meaning for you.
Yeah. So no, this was just another. This was one of the swords that he always brings. This is not anything of like emotional or personal significance, because this is not a fight where he's going to be bringing his trusty axe, and he's an axe guy, not a sword guy.
Yep.
The
So she
family
doesn't
sword is
try.
at
She doesn't.
home.
Yeah. She doesn't offer to help you up. She just like as soon as she takes you down and takes your sword away, she just like ugh, and storms straight out of the field of Mars. So you
That was good
and
luck.
storms off. Okay.
Good lord.
Um,
Salamrak is startled, definitely like feeling embarrassed, but also at the same time, he really does want to talk to her. Like,
mhm.
you good? What's up? Hi.
uh, as she's storming off, she's not responding, but you see her storming back to her tent anyway, waiting for the next game. Um, in between so that's the first tournament. And then there is a brief interlude as everyone sort of has morning tea and stuff like that, and you all break your fast and have some bread, and many of the knights eat together at long tables that you have set up outside. It's a beautiful day here in Avalon, which means it's only raining just the slightest bit, and the so everyone's there, and I'm just going to so Tiernan, this is what you see. Um, you see the Lady Elaine. Um, there are pages pouring wine out of jugs into people's different cups, and the Lady Elaine, who is Dame Deirdre's sister, um, has been basically. You see her drop something into a cup of wine, and then she gets a random page. Let's call her Kalia Penlu, and tells her to make sure that the Lady Elaine has enough to drink, and to pour from the jug that she's just put something in. You see this. She's quick with how she does it, and it's but you just happen to be standing right over her shoulder as this is happening, and the reason why you're paying attention is simply because it is Kalia the page who is there, who is summoned.
Hmm.
What do you do?
Um,
She says that she that ensure that uh, that Aisha's cup is filled.
I call Kaylee over. Um, take the jug that she was given by Elaine and um go tell her to get a fresh one. Um, and do what she's told. Uh, just not from this one. And then I wish to confront Elaine
Okay. Elaine is golden haired, beautiful, extremely well dressed, not perhaps as rich as when you once knew her a few years ago. The jewelry that was there is there no longer. The and she is much simpler, and you see her face is just a little bit thin, but she is looking furious. At least for a moment, but it quickly washes away into that pleasant smile. She curtsies for you, and she says, "Saturnian, you have put on such a wonderful tournament. I'm glad to have been invited, and I deeply love this roast boar straight out of the forest. Tell me, please, if you, I hope that that there is much more of this fantastic day to come."
Oh, absolutely. I'm still holding the picture that I took from Kaylee. Um,
She doesn't seem to bat an eyelid.
I'm gonna take two glasses and pour one for each, like one for each of us. I'm gonna hand her one and propose a toast uh to such a glorious day.
She sort of shakes the wine in the goblet, and looks to you and says, "Saturnian, it is a glorious day, is it not? The sun is the sun shines even from behind the clouds, and it seems to me that there are dark storms on these but there are dark storms coming over these mountains." She looks over to to a moment to Aisha. She says, "You must have seen something that perhaps I did not wish you to see. But fear not. What is done for the good of all, you and I and all of Avalon."
Um, in this tournament of love and beauty, why should we mar it with like frivolous things like us murder?
She smi- um, she uh, she smiles at you, and she's got the charisma, right? She's got that perfect look. She reaches out and touches her fingers just to your forearm, and she curtsies to a nearby person as they walk by. She drops her fingers, and she says, "No ill will befall this tournament at this time."
Um, my lady, you are mistaken. No ill will befall this tournament at any time.
Perhaps. See, what will you do from here, Sir Turnian?
Cheers, toast to your good health. And I'm kind of like the way that I'm doing it is like really as much social pressure as I can to like have her drink this drink.
She um, she says, "Saturnian, allow this to pass, or you shall regret it." The princess is now watching the two of you.
Yeah. Um
She can't hear what you're saying, but you know you're in a early lunch. You're breaking your fast. Everyone's having a cup of wine and a biscuit.
yeah, there are many things that I will probably regret in my life, Elaine. Stopping ill will befalling a friend of mine, family is not and never will be one of them.
You're a
Drink
good
this.
man, she says. She says, "You're a good man. She throws the wine in the goblet straight at your face and slaps you as hard as she can. And then she yells, "How dare you say that to me? You are a foul beggar. You cannot accuse me of such," she says. And she turns and begins to storm away.
I'm gonna um wipe my face.
I have not broken any bonds of marriage, um, and she storms over to her brother,
I'm gonna
her sister, I should say.
yeah, I'm gonna wipe my face and
The princess looks confused at you.
I'm gonna I want to say something like pithy and witty, but my brain is like failing, like Casper's brain is failing me right now. So Tiernan
You
is
can make a
going
wit
to,
check.
yeah,
You can
please.
make a wit check, and we'll give you something. We can always fall
um
back on the dice. That's fine.
I want to play it off like, well, clearly she doesn't need any more wine or something like that, but I like
Hmm.
okay.
Roll me roll me a wit check with disadvantage, please.
Okay, cool. Oh, that's still pretty good. My wit is a 13. I got a 3 and a 10.
Okay.
So I still do it.
No consequence. No consequence. So this is what happens. So you play that and and everybody laughs, but you see Dame Deirdre speaking with her sister, and then she looks over to you with a sudden fire in her eyes.
Well, that's to be expected. um yeah, no, I will go up to Dame Deirdre and before she can say
You see Dame
anything.
Deirdre pulling off the metal gauntlet on her hand.
Yeah, no, before she can say anything, I want to go over there and it's like we will finish this on the field, not here.
The field of love and beauty is not the place for this. How dare you speak to my sister this way? I thought you were friend.
Your sister tried to assassinate someone in my house.
She,
And to prove it, I
Deirdre,
still no, and to prove it, I
Deirdre,
still have the rest. I still have my glass because her sister only threw it on me. And to prove it, I will hand Deirdre my glass and like in front of Elaine and be like, if this if if what I say is false, drink this.
um, the Deirdre, basically getting like clearly angry, simply throws down that gauntlet and says, "My sister is no liar nor poisoner, and how dare you say such? And to indicate that she has had relations with animals is an offence to my house and my honor." And she throws this glove down at your feet.
I don't know where the animals thing came from, and I do like Casper knows, but Tiernan is just like it was like animals.
Everyone is now stopped, and the tournament is, and everyone is now obviously looking at you. The princess has stood up, um, and and is looking at you with concern. And the knight, with the who has not eaten and is wearing the full helm, stands as well, um, and says, in a very in a deep but recognizable voice, says, um, "This would not be the first time I have heard Sir Tiernan as a disrespectful blackguard who cheats in tournaments."
uh,
We're going to have
First
a
of all,
scene cut for a moment. We're going to have a scene cut,
fair.
and I'm going to pop over to Sir Lamorak. And Sir Lamorak, um, you um, Sir Lamorak, you have followed the Lady Penny and Blackstorm into her tent. wish to say to her? There are the other knights of the Black Storm House who are there, who stand as you approach. You name yourself and things, um, and and the Lady Pinion reappears. She says, "What do you wish of me, knight? I bested you fairly."
Yes, I know. He points like a little, with a little smirk at the sword. And you are heartily
Your house
deserving
makes
of.
hundreds. You cannot be here to beg of your weapon back. Your house makes hundreds of these.
I, I, in fact came in here to congratulate you, and if you would allow me to um, maybe escort you to the celebrations later.
The Lady Pinion looks at you in a confused manner. You wish to walk with me? For what
I
purpose?
respect, yes, I, this is, I, I see something in you, uh, Sir Knight. I see, I see an old friend. I see my sister, someone who has things to prove and might need a friendly ear from time to time, just to, I like to make friends with people who are better than me in certain areas. There's always more to learn.
Uh, Perhaps you are right, but there is a matter of blood that I'm about, and there is, and if you wish to do such, then this would not be the best time. Sir Tiernan allows a murderer to walk free, and allows a and uh, and doubtless further issues. I shall show Sir Tiernan that they are the lesser knight, and that perhaps they are not worthy of holding these lands at all.
My lady, Sir Tiernan is a worthy friend and has been my steadfast friend for many years now. He has bested me, like you, in our dues, and they have shown me much that I have learned in it. And I promise you that Sir Tiernan, if you wait, and he kind of stops. Are you referring to Sir, to his now exiled former brother?
In all these years, um, Sir Turnian has never shown. Yes, he has declared his brother to be executed by his own hand, but he has not hunted down his brother nor ensured the destruction of this murderer. He is no true knight. I have waited 5 years for justice, and if he shall not dispense it, then I shall dispense it on whom is finally responsible, the head of the house. At that, you
My,
hear an altercation happening from the feasting tables not far away, and you see Lady Pinion looks out, and you see several people have called out. A big metal gauntlet has been thrown down and thumps down, and people beginning to yell at each other. Let's cut back to Saturnian's scene.
Cool. Yeah, great. I'm gonna take issue with um gauntlet thrown. I still offered the glass. If I and I stand by, if I am lying, if I am false, freely drink of this goblet. I know like Deirdre's like blind with rage and throwing gauntlets down. I'm like, all right, fine. But you, sir, how dare you impugn my honor? Who are you to speak to this?
Um, at this, the Lady Penion enters the battlefield of this and says, "Neither of you two have any right to interfere with justice." And she begins pulling off her own gauntlet.
Cool. You know what? Honestly, Tiernan's gonna take this opportunity. Change in the tournament. Anyone who has beef with me, just fight me. Like, fight me on the field. I will take all y'all on. Choose your
I
champion.
would,
Choose your
I would.
champion, and I shall face them.
So
You want a
Lamrak is
battle
just like,
royale? Let's do this.
so Lamrak is just like frantically like, what are you doing? What are you doing? And he's just like looking at him like, what is wrong? What are you doing? And he's like just like he's he can see other people like consider like, oh okay, who, or like, consider like, and he's like, he's going like, no, like certainly, like, i'm sure this is I'm sure this is a misunderstanding, and he's going out and trying to calm people down like, look, okay, everybody chill.
No,
Um,
someone threw a gauntlet at me, and someone also questioned my honor. Plus, this lady still wants justice after I uprooted my own house and banished my heir. So yes, if you have a problem, you have a problem, and you have a problem, meet me outside. Let's go in the most knightly way possible.
mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Uh, where are we going to go from here? I think um, at this point, the the knight with the closed helm says that indeed there is enough a betrayer such as you, Sir Tianan, should should be defeated most soundly, but not three against one. Such would be unfair and unsporting. Are you are you knight enough to face us one after the other, perhaps on successive days, or perhaps or are you brave enough, as you say, to do this? And then Knight Deirdre simply says, "Shut up! Shut up, you! You have nothing to do with this." Knight Deirdre pushes you back and says, "Apologize for calling my sister a liar."
Prove to me that I prove to me that I called her a liar.
Words are stronger than this. Apologize.
Actions are
Uh,
stronger than words. Prove to me that she is not a liar. Drink out of this cup. Drink out of this
she,
glass.
my sister would never do such. Grabs the goblet to drink it. Um, are you going to let Dame Deirdre drink a poison goblet?
I am going to, as Deirdre takes it, I am calling for a medic right now.
Okay, you um, drinks the entire lot, throws down the gauntlet. Sorry, the goblet, and says, "See, I am fine. No poison shall affect me." Begins drawing the sword and begins drawing her sword and says, "Face me now!" And then you start seeing the red begin to sort of as the blood begins to sort of form up in the face,
Yep.
and her face begin to suffuse
Um,
with
I
blood.
I will Rowan. I'm gonna call Rowan to seize Elaine. So she's not trying to escape. But
Mhm.
my full focus is on Deirdre right now because I don't know what this poison's going to do. So I am with her at this moment, trying to like make sure she's good.
She's sort of half attempting to kill you, but at the same time, you see that the strength is falling out of her.
Yeah,
So
yeah, yeah.
she,
She can try and kill me as much as she wants as long as she lives through this. So I'm gonna try and keep her as stable as possible until our healers get there.
mhm. um, you your healers get there. After a fair few minutes, they rush over and begin giving her, praying over her and giving her some tinctures and things. All of the other knights
Aisha
are
will be. Aisha will also like hurry over with her own and be helping Dame Deirdre out, instructing the medics with like her own like special
Yeah.
kit.
Yeah,
uh,
necromancer. Save her before she's dead.
Elaine yells out, "Do not let that witch near my brother," she says. Now, my sister, she says.
Oh, the
She is a
minute like
poisoner. She is a poisoner and brings cursed magic to our lands.
Yeah,
uh
I'm telling her silence, and having her dragged away until further notice. Put her in the dungeon or something. I'm pretty sure I have one of those.
Okay. You drag
yeah,
away. Yeah, you've got a hole you can put someone in, or
yeah.
just a
So
room that you lock the
Lamorak
door on.
like locks eyes with her and like makes a note.
Mhm.
She looks at Aisha and she looks at her, and he just does not let go of her eyesight. He stares at her, does not flinch until she's out of like the room.
The knight with the closed helm um, shakes her head. You go. Who wants to make a luck roll to see whether Dame Deirdre survives?
I'll do it since I put her in this mess. Well, technically her sister did because
Her sister did this shit.
I was really expecting her sister to stop her,
Same,
but
same.
I was expecting too much from the sister. Oh, thank God. I got a 6.
Dame Deirdre.
Very nervous.
uh, Nothing like a bit of just random luck. Okay, so Dame Deirdre is taken away, and the tournament is at least is put on hold. All of the people have gathered around. They're all just watching. Um, and the knight with the closed helm simply says, um, "A in your own tournament and in your own home, you force poison upon one, knowing it to be poison. You force poison upon your own friend. You are
I
no true knight, Turnian."
Okay. Who are you? For you to like, I would like to face my accuser. Show me your face. I know exactly who
Um,
this is. I still.
the one that you know as Sir Reynold simply calls out and says, "Do you all think that one who poisons another in your very presence is worthy of ruling Iden?" And at that, Lady Penyon Blackstorm steps forward and says, "No, I do not. Yet another example of injustice. I shall fight you now."
Okay, fine. You want injustice? Fine, absolutely fine. I still want to see. I will. Lady Pinion wants a fight. That is fine. That is okay. I'm down to fight her. She wants justice. I will give her justice. That's what she truly seeks. But first, I want to like. I really need to face my accuser because I can't have some faceless man or some faceless uh person come into my home accusing me of poisoning my friend when all I was doing was proving a point. I did not poison my friend. My friend's sister poisoned her.
This is not the first time you have used poison," says the masked figure. Um, 5 years ago, when you fought for Iden, um, do you remember? You insisted that I ate the fish. And he lifts his visor, and it is your brother, Sir Siver. I
Okay.
remember it well. I was the owner. I was not the only to eat the. I was the only one to eat that fish, and fish was on the menu. Why was I cursed? When I have heard, and now I see you not only forcing poison down your friend's throat, but poison being used everywhere. You are no true knight.
Cool. Arrest this man. He is no knight of Iden. He has been banished from these lands. Um, and Lady Angry
Minion.
Blackstorm person, you want justice? I give you justice. This is the man who killed your. This is the man who killed your heir. Go killed your spare. Killed your person. Um, and now I give him to you.
Um, she looks over to Sir Siver, um, who you see has weathered poorly in these years. His face is covered in scars, and his eyes, always cold, now seem dead entirely. There is a uh, and she simply says, "Sir Turnin, you declared execution, not banishment.
I was going to execute him. He ran away. What knight runs away from a fair
Will you
sentence?
do this? Will you will you deal with this knight then?"
Yes, I am a man of my word. This is a knight. This was a man sentenced to death in my kingdom.
Siver smiles and says, "I will fight you, betrayer and poisoner."
Yeah,
Um,
keep talking shit, buddy. I will end you. Yeah. So I will accept that. This point, my gauntlet's thrown at this dude. Yes, I will. I will fight him for justice. I will fight him to make him answer for his crimes. And I will also fight him for slandering me. I will fight Seaver the Ruthless for many reasons. Uh,
So Lamorak will stand in as his second.
let's go.
Sir Siver has one of his Black Knights stand in as a second. Um, and how do you wish to fight? I will not fight you with a bow, and no doubt you are too cowardly to face me with a sword, the traditional method of knightly combat.
How about you catch these hands, bro? How about you catch these hands? We will fisticuffs. This is honestly the truest way to face him if he questions my honor so much. Um he will have the advantage with the sword. I have an advantage with the um bow. We will fight. Uh
We could joust. You have set up the tournament grounds.
man, you really want to lose your horse again? Absolutely. Let us rouse.
Okay, so
I am not the
the
strongest jouster, and neither is he.
he's like he's traditionally been very
Lamorak will
bad.
offer to be his squire, like just like trying to give him just like trying to give him a little bit of help as he goes in, as they go in.
Um, you see, Siva has a mighty black warhorse, similar, perhaps even larger than Midnight. And you have the 2.5 meter war lance, the big. You guys are in it to kill, not sportsmanship now, with a sharp metal head on the end of it.
Oh,
You
freaking
face
Joe.
up about 25 meters away from each other, and begin the charge. Uh, and the how do you deal with it as this huge Destria, this massive warhorse? You can feel the thumping of this thing's hooves as it smashes into the ground. Siva was always bigger, always nastier. Do you even have a single good memory of him?
Growing up, he was the one. He was always like way too competitive, and so, um, like my good memories of him is him like forcing me to get creative in fights because he would usually beat my ass down if I went head on. Um, hence the tainted fish. Um, but yeah, like truly good memories. Um, what started off as like when we were younger, it started off from a place of camaraderie. As we grew older, it was tainted into something like jealousy. Um, and
You
that
jealous? Were
kind of
you jealous of him because everyone expected him to take Iden?
no, I think he became jealous of me because um instead of facing him head on, I outmaneuvered him. And he couldn't think that fast on his toes.
Mhm,
So
mhm.
as I became the golden child of Iden, um, he like he relied on his physical prowess to try and see him through. And when that started failing him, he blamed me for that.
Those thumping hoofbeats as the Destrier charges come ever closer. You begin lowering your lance. The two of you sort of lean your weight forward into it, aiming your lance through. How did he show his ruthlessness and cruelty to you or to others?
Um, he how did he show his ruthlessness and cruelty? Um, while he took pleasure in the suffering of others, when he had an enemy beaten, he would not stop, which kind of put him in his current predicament. But this is something that has followed him forever, like has followed him since the dawn. Um, so he's always one to not stop like the, he comes from the mindset the fight's only over when the winner says it is, and he's normally the winner
Mhm, mhm,
kind of deal.
mhm. Did you ever suffer a significant beating from him because of that?
Oh yes, oh yes, very much so, yes.
And and whoever taught you jousting, what did they when they were teaching it to you? How did you fare against him?
um Jousting, I was not great. um the the lance, I I had when I was learning jousting, I had a problem with the directness of it because there is no way to bob and weave in jousting. From what Tiernan can see, and so it was a change in mindset. Was my toughest obstacle. Um,
Mhm.
you can't duck and weave in jousting; you have to face it head on and deal with the consequences as they may.
Um, we're almost at the point now. The lances are getting close. Your lance and his lance cross each other on the screen. We see your eyes through your helmet slits. We see his eyes through the helmet slits. Um, and what was the one thing that you remember that he did well, that he helped people?
Um, he was always the first one to jump into a fight, to defend the little guy. Like when
When did he defend you?
when we were younger, before, like when we were both squires, like, or before we were squires even, um from like the beginning, um that like we were a couple of kids in the street before we and like we were hungry for food. So I'm going to say at one point there were another group of kids, sad little orphan people, um that were like saw that I had bread or something and wanted to take it from me, and that was uh um Seaver was the first one to jump in and defend me against this group of hooligans that was coming for my moldy dinner.
Make a I'd say make a check of whatever attribute you think is appropriate. You can bob and weave. You can be manipulative in the joust.
I
You
think
can make it with advantage for all of our memories that we're having through here.
great.
And
Uh
this will be either a win or a significant or a potential death.
cool. I'm going to go with prowess. Um which isn't my highest stat, which I mean, that's surprising, it should be. But I'm going to go with prowess cuz I'm going to trust my archer's eye for accuracy. Um this may
You're
not be
aiming
a
right at the you're aiming right at the cheek. Yep.
yeah, I'm going straight for accuracy and hoping that my target hits true before his does.
Roll with
Okay.
advantage, please.
How about you stay where I can see you? All right. So my first one was a 17 and my second one was a 2.
It was good.
2
No
is very good.
consequence.
17 scared me
How,
for a second.
how do you want to deal with this?
Um
Is it a clean?
yeah. I want
Do
this
you,
to
do you,
be
is this a killing blow, or do you simply knock him off his horse?
I'm going to roll a luck die um to answer that question. Evens yeah, I'm going to say evens is a what do I say? Uh Evens is killing, and then odds is I knock him off his horse.
And he dies in a minute.
And it's odds to thank God, so I can give him mercy.
You stab him through the so evens was killing.
Yeah,
So
Evens was
so
killing, so
odds. You spear him straight through the face, and he goes off his horse, and in a few moments, he is on the ground. Um, and as you come over, you see the blood pooling underneath him, and his eyes through, and you hear him say, "At least now, you can know that you were the best, that you did this with honor." Um, and then you give him mercy, and I think we bring this session to a close.
before we do that, I want to look over at Lady Blackstorm and ask if she is satisfied with this justice.
She simply nods, and turns and begins and turns to move away. You The
So
princess and
Turnian is
Andre
going to catch Lamorak kind of like staring at her, staring at her as she goes.
princess the princess is staring at you. So I guess we do have to finish up shortly. I believe that's our
Hmm.
time. But um, she simply says, "Is it true that you poisoned him?"
In answer to that, because I didn't poison him, I just gave him fish. It just did not agree with him.
You gave him rotten fish to or yeah, you
Yeah,
gave him
so
tainted fish too.
I gave him
Did you?
tainted fish. Like so, um,
She asked you, "Is it true? Did you poison him with tainted fish to win your battle?"
I did what was necessary to save my house.
She looks deeply disappointed, and turns to walk back to the Countess's tent. And at that point, I think we should finish our game up.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Sophia, I think that's the end of us for the time. Sophia, are you there? With that in mind, everyone, this is Nerds with Dice. So we are a we there are many other things that you can possibly see on the Nerds with Dice channel. Definitely check those out. There's lots of things going on at the moment. Monster of the Week, House of M, a number of other amazing programs that you might want to have a look at. Thank you to Caspar and Percival, amazing players who I am driving into misery and despair. as low as we can get to see if we can rise as honorable knights, and we're getting there. We're getting there. Anyway, so that's it for us. So, Sophia, are you there to finish this up? Maybe not. Maybe we'll just have our chat forever.
It's cool. We'll vamp. I've been Casper, the MB Ghost. You can find me on Tuesdays and Thursdays on Tabletop Titties. Um, Here every Friday and every other Wednesday, I'm on Neon Lights Roleplay. How about you, Percival? Where you
Nice.
at?
You can find me on Twitter at Dr. underscore Vibon, on Blue Sky at Ombre Lesbian Night, where I am usually there having lots of discussions about very cool books that I have read recently, that I would encourage people to buy from whatever I'm tweeting about. Usually, if it's good, if I'm explicitly said this is awesome, this was a fantastic one, please do go buy it. Also, uh, some I have one more. I think the next thing that's coming up is another show with Nerds with Dice, and it will be we are back for season 2 of Iron Sworn, baby. My my second this was my second actual live streaming campaign that I ever played, and we're back for season 2. And I'm fallen knight out for who fallen betrayed knight. Oh, what will she do now?
Amazing.
So
Nice.
look out for that later in April. I'm really looking forward to it because Synthetic 20 has yet to get back to me on some really juicy shit that I am really looking forward to, because I want to know what are the consequences of all coming this close to being skewered by your own ancestor. Spoilers for Iron Sword season 1. Legit, she just straight up got skewered by her own ancestor and was only saved because of Danny. Shout out to Danny. So yeah, really looking forward to how that's going to be totally fine in season 2 and not drive Suneri into a path of vengeance, anger, and possibly fuck this world, let's destroy everything. Who knows? Who knows what will happen?
Nice. Well, thanks very much, guys. So we'll finish up there, and I think we'll. Sophia seems to be not with us at the moment, so we'll say bye bye. Hope you're enjoying the game, and we'll just finish up our video call here. Thanks very much, guys.
Bye.
All right.
Bye
Bye.
bye.
All right. Now let's see. How do I turn this off in this mode?
Are we still on air? I think we're
I
still on
believe
air.
so.